After I read a book by David Quammen, Song of the Dodo. It's island biogeography in the time of extinctions, and it talks about the status of the world and the analysis of places based upon their insular aspects of them. You know, we had Darwin that looked at islands, and Wallace who was in the islands doing things, and what those islands allowed them to see was that this isolation caused the ability to perceive and see the changes that happen in a way that you couldn't necessarily see in the bigger place. And then the analysis figured out as it kept going, and as David Quammen goes through the history of science in the last 2 centuries, starts seeing the perspective that human interaction and building and activity starts breaking up natural places the same way that the oceans break up places into islands and cause isolation, with the resulting limitation on variety that happens. When rare species get then compromised or questioned, they can go into that vortex of ultimate extinction, rarity unto death, and the world's response to that is we start to see it, and then we start building crossings for the panthers and reintroducing the wolf and doing things that try to keep a snapshot in time, because we don't know how to stop the free fall that's going, but we know that we don't like the fact that we're losing all these things, and so we end up building regulations and building structures, and we're doing things in order to preserve the wildness, but that in and of itself is what is that? That's the paradox. When you're trying to save the wild, you're actually destroying the wild, because now you're managing it. So this is what the building a zoo, and it's a metaphor not only just for environmental concerns, but it's a metaphor for how we deal with each other and our governance and those kinds of things. And so that's how the name came. This is what I'm doing, is I'm trying to talk about the competing values, about things that work throughout time in order to come to this head, this society that we have right now. And so I like it that we're out on the World Wide Web. I like it that we are streaming live out there to Alaska. Hello, Branch. We're out there to Texas. Hello, Kyle. We're in Montana. Parks and Dylan and Jody and Birdie. My granddaughter Birdie out there gets to listen to this show. Hello, Birdie. And people that in North Carolina, people in Phoenix, Arizona. I met some people from my wife Dawn's class reunion, Miami Palmetto, last weekend, and had a great time with those folks. And yes, those Chatnettes are limber. They can dance, let me tell you. And there's a bunch of them, and they're proud of it. I was happy to meet them. Happy to meet a number of folks there. And that Miami Palmetto group, that was there in Miami, this place, this mixing pot that we have, this place, this tongue of the United States that sticks down into the Caribbean, a tongue that speaks Spanish as well as English, a tongue of many languages, many cultures coming together. And so I was thinking, we've having some struggles in our lives, and there seems to be some, we're being beset by these different purposes that we have, and these different needs that we have, and I got thinking as we started reading, we read in Ecclesiastes, and so today's theme, the theme for today is, what time is there for every purpose? I was fired in the belly of a wrestling room, bounced crazy on a trampoline, scared to disappoint my mom and dad. I ran streaking through my hometown and jumped out of perfectly good airplanes. Airborne all the way, the 82nd Airborne Division. Somebody asked me last week to always remember to say that I'd been part of that. I'm proud of that to some extent. I'm proud of the time I served in the military. I love my country. I think that the people who are in the military, the strike forces that we have, they're there to do a job, whether we made a good, bad, or indifferent decision. That's not their job to make that decision. They go and do the fighting that we've sent them into, and they're trained well for that. But we, as the people, the sovereigns of this country, have an obligation not to send them in harm's way for the wrong reasons. And so I'm going to let you listen to Old Crow Medicine Show on that one. This one's called I Hear Them All.
Love this band. Their new album rocks too.